And away we go, another edition of Extra Time. The questions hot off the press in my hands here. I got Craig, I got Shaka, I got Frank, all lined up, ready to dive in. Shaka, I'm going to go right down the middle. You first. Medu.
Come on then.
Medu asks, if Manchester City wins the Champions League and the FA Cup, would that be a better season than Liverpool?
Than Liverpool? No. Listen, I think City would obviously prefer to win the Champions League at the start of the season. The FA Cup is icing on the cake. Liverpool would have preferred to win the Premier League. So I think they're both happy, and it's. I don't think we should say that one is more successful than the other, given what each wanted to achieve this season.
Craig?
Well, City have already won the Carabao Cup, so the domestic league title has been a bit of a disaster for them this season. However, can I just answer some of the donuts that were tweeting me today about how, talking about Man United being off the pace, how City have been off the pace. They've won, and let this sink in to those that are not intelligent enough to understand. City have won 8 of the last 9 domestic trophies available, and can win a treble this season, i.e. the FA Cup and the Champions League. They are allowed one bad season by their standards in the league. But no, Shaka's right, Ed. The trophy that Liverpool have been desperate for is the Premier League. So nothing betters it for them than winning that this season.
Donuts, consider yourself answered with that.
Yeah.
Frank, happy Bastille.
Making friends again.
Yeah, exactly. Your specialty, Craig. Frank, happy Bastille Day, by the way. Big day in France. Good you could join us. Dan, the Orange Man, saying it was the anniversary of your '98 World Cup win just a few days ago, and he saw a picture of you celebrating. You almost look exactly the same now, and I was wondering what your secret is to keeping yourself looking so young. The secret of eternal youth, Frank, what is it?
Well, I don't have a secret. Talking a lot, maybe.
This is a family
working
show,
for
Frank.
ESPN.
Just remember that.
Having my kids very young, so they're already out of the house, so it helps you to staying young. Well, I don't know. I don't have any secrets. Thank you for the Bastille Day. We celebrated the 22 years of winning the World Cup. And I think I got older. When you see the beard, it's very gray. You see some wrinkles there. But I put some cream on. I do sports still, and I keep smiling. So sometimes smiling helps you out.
Does he still look the same to you, Craig?
Yeah. Well, he had a little bit of hair when he arrived at Chelsea. Not much. On top of his head, it's down the bottom of his head now. Unless he's turned his head upside down, true. I'm not sure. Might have done. But the trouble is when people are already bald, they don't change that much. Look at Stuart Robson.
Right.
I think that's where it is. It's an optical illusion.
Because you're not losing hair. I
have an advice for you. I have a good advice for you, Craig. Shave your head, and we'll see if you don't age.
Well,
no.
I'm not quite at that stage yet, Frank. Just not far off it.
It's an interesting thought, though. It is. Shaka, Kartik, how difficult is it to motivate yourself when there's nothing on the line, especially in these last round of games? I know you've said before you've played in plenty of those sort of mid-table, nothing on the line games.
Yeah, mid-table mediocrity. Those games are very tough to get yourself up for. Listen, you're a professional, so you try to psych yourself up all week. I'm going to do this, we're going to go out there, and my professional responsibilities and all that, and then you start, and 15 minutes into the game, you're just like, I've had enough of this. I've had it. No, I'm ready to go in, and that's the big challenge. You're doing it, but it doesn't really matter. So you run out of steam quite quickly when you're in that kind of position.
Frank, Craig, any thoughts on this mid-table mediocrity?
Well, I know when it gets to that
it depends
scenario.
your situation. Sorry,
Frank. Go on, Frank.
Go on, Craig.
No, you go.
Yes, I was saying that Yeah, I go. Yeah, okay, I go. Thank you. I think it depends on the situation you are in, and if you are at the end of your contract, or if you have 1 year left, you have to still try to seduce people, and give your best. If you're settled, and you have 3 years contract and nothing to hope to get out of the situation, and you're going to play in the championship, or you're going to play again for the club, we're going to finish 10th at the end of the season. Yeah, it's getting boring at the end of the day. Yeah.
I didn't have too many of those seasons, Adrian. It was quite weird actually, because in the early days at Chelsea, when we were rebuilding, we were a very good cup side, and so we had a couple of FA Cup finals, which, as you know, certainly in normal circumstances, is the last game of the domestic season. So you're keeping yourself fresh for that. At Celtic, we were fighting for titles, and the year I left Chelsea for Celtic, it went to the last day. Where we pipped Rangers. So, and then moving down to Derby County, it was the other side of the coin, where we were fighting. We had a pretty weak squad, and we were fighting tooth and nail to survive in the Premier League under Jim Smith. So there was not a lot of seasons, to be quite frank with you, where we weren't going for something, or we weren't fighting for survival.
So,
and also, I just want to add something, Adrian, if I may. We were all international, the three of us. So most of the time we had tournament at the end of the season as well. So you have to keep your body in good shape, to make sure that you will be able to give good games to your national team.
Yeah.
I'm still doing that, Frank.
Well, that's the theory anyway.
I'm still keeping my body in good shape. Shaka knows.
Sure.
Shaka, question about facing penalties. I don't know if last night's penalty in the MLS prompted this question for Frank, but did you ever use the spaghetti leg tactic or any other tactic when facing a penalty?
Nah. I think, listen, I think it looks silly, and it's just out of character for me. I appreciate that goalkeepers have used it to very good effect. Bruce Grobbelaar in particular comes to mind. But that's just not who I was. It doesn't fit in my personality. Apart from which, penalties usually used to go in against me. So I just ended up looking spaghetti-legged silly in the end.
Yeah.
Did you actually, serious question here, did you actually save any penalties?
I remember saving a Michael Owen penalty. Portsmouth beat Liverpool 1-0 in the FA Cup, February 22nd, 2004. My 35th birthday. Ooh. On my birthday.
Well,
I broke my finger in the
The thing is, when you remember that much and so precisely, it means you didn't stop too many penalties.
It was a collector's item. That's what it means.
It was my 35th birthday. It was on my 35th. That's why I remember it.
Nice.
I'll save a couple others, but not a whole lot, I admit.
Oh, okay.
Dean wants to know whether Craig's going to wear a Celtic top on air if they win 10 in a row. I think I can anticipate your answer here.
No, because I won't wear any top on air, because I have to be impartial. It's my job. So although people might not agree, because fans who wear the old brain blinkers, you can't convince them that you're trying to be impartial, because you're always biased. But no, I won't get involved in that. But it does look like it. To be honest with you, it looks like it's going to happen. Because Rangers are under pressure, but I will not be donning any top from any club on our network.
Frank, Harry Maguire asks Antisocial, is he really worth £80 million that Manchester United spent on him?
Well, let's be clear. Nobody worth £80 million. That's the offer and the demand, and we know that he's very special in England. The money gets very high and crazy when you want to buy an English or British player. Maguire is a leader. He has qualities, but I think when you compare to Van Dijk, Ramos, John Terry, Marcel Desailly, I can name lots of fantastic centre half. Yes, no, he's not in that level. He's maybe from the new generation, somebody very strong, but technically struggling a lot and very, very slow. So he compensates with being very smart, but I think, being a top player, no, not yet. For me, not yet.
They might have to go out and get. I mean, if I was spending 80 million, I think I'd rather have Koulibaly from Napoli. If we're talking about current centre halves that are probably or potentially going to be available, and they might have to go and get somebody like that who is going to be able to bail Harry Maguire out when he gets caught a little bit flat-footed. As Frank said, he's clearly a good player. He had a great time, particularly at Leicester. He's played in a World Cup semi-final. But I don't think he's wholly convinced all the United fans at the moment that he's the real deal. He's not been a disaster, far from it, but I think there are still some question marks about his performances.
All right, not quite sure what prompted this question from Tish. Shaka, you go first. Would you purposefully lose a game if it meant a manager you disliked got the sack?
No. No. It goes against every professional cell in my body. I couldn't do that.
No. I didn't think you would say yes. I didn't think any of you would say yes. I don't know what has prompted this question, but I guess.
No, but I have experienced something at Chelsea where Gianluca Vialli was in a very bad position in 99-2000 when we won the FA Cup. We knew that losing the FA Cup final would have put Gianluca Vialli out of the job. And the question was, well, not really directly asked to the players between them in the dressing room, but it was clear for us that we wanted to win for the club. So we won the final. Gianluca Vialli was sacked like some months after, but we had the power to put him out. I don't think it's unprofessional, and you have to think about the institution before doing that kind of stupid things. Yeah, for your own sake.
Craig, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, look, we've all played under managers that we maybe don't quite get on with, but once you go on that field, you know, your professional pride takes over. And I personally don't know of anybody that's not tried to do their best within a game. If you lose the game and don't play well, then so be it. But I don't know many would do it on purpose. I do know there was some accusations from a squad that I play. I'm not going to mention any club or any players, but one of the clubs I played at, we were convinced that a player gave a last-minute penalty away in a game because the club had told him that he wasn't getting a new contract. Now, it wasn't the manager that told him this, it was the club that told him this. And we were convinced, because it was such an outlandish challenge, that we were convinced that was some retribution to the ownership. Whether that was true or not, I don't know, but I know a lot of the guys that I played with at the time were convinced that was done on purpose.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.